Wherever you are in the world, Trader Tom here from Simply Forex, the channel that gives you in-depth market analysis, trade ideas, tips and advice so you too can succeed at trading. And if you stay till the end, I'm also going to answer all of your trading questions. All right, so don't be shy, guys. Come say hello, leave as many questions as you like, and I will try and get through as many as I can. All right. And it could be anything you like to do with trading, right? It could be a currency pair you're looking at, an indice, a commodity, could be something to do with risk and money management, strategy, psychology, anything you like, guys. All right. So don't be shy. Come ask a question. What else are we going to do? Yeah, normally we would look at the economic calendar as well. So let's take a quick look at that. But as you can see, guys, there's no real news coming out during the live stream. Now, there is big US dollar news later on, right? We've got PMI figures and new home sales, but nothing during the live stream, guys, for us to worry about. So there you go. We are going to start today, right, by firstly, I'm going to admit that I have a Real Madrid football shirt on my back. Please don't tell my Liverpool friends, they will shoot me. But the reason for this is I'm playing six-a-side football tonight and haven't played in ages. So I needed to wear something white. And this was the only, look, Real Madrid, can you see that? This was the only white football top I had, and it stings just wearing it. But there you go, guys. That was a bit of a confession there. But anyway, we're going to look at my trades that I am in today, right? So first of all, guys, let me just show you this, right? Let me show you the Discord, right? Because if I go down to here, this is basically the trades that I post to you every day, right? So if you come join our free Discord channel, you will know exactly what trades I'm looking at. All right, so I'm looking at Aussie dollar, US dollar sells, Aussie dollar CAD sells, pound Swiss franc buys. And it just so happens I have entered these two at the bottom. All right, so let's understand why I entered these two trades. All right. Oh, no, let's not do that. And as you can see, guys, just to show you up here as well. So this is all the Discord channel, got the VIP Discord as well. As you can see, I also give you my entries, stop loss, take profit, right, for pound Swiss franc and Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. And just wanted to show you guys the trades that we looked at yesterday on the live stream. Pound Swiss franc, that hit target, and Brent crude oil hit target. All right, so we're doing all right this week. But let's understand the trades that I'm in. All right, so one of them is Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar sells. Right now, why am I in this trade? Well, quite simply, let's start with the weekly chart. Right, let's do a top-down approach. Let's drag this grey zone across a little bit. There we go. So on the weekly chart, we was in this sort of choppy price action, then bang, we're in a downtrend, bang, we've retraced to a nice level. You can see this was once support in here. It's now very good resistance as a result, right? We're not millions of miles away from the moving average 20. There's value in this trade and there's lots of room to move into. All right, so weekly, we like, basically the weekly chart is saying, Tom, you can sell Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. But I have to get more advice. Sounds like I'm talking to myself. I'm not, but I have to get more advice from another time frame, right? And that other time frame is daily. And as you can see, once we're in this downtrend, right? I would even say that's a high, right? We're in this downtrend. And price has just been hovering around this area of resistance, okay? And then yesterday, bang, right? We got a nice big bearish candle, okay? So all I'm trying to do is take advantage of this bearish candle and take price lower, okay? Now, Daily says I can sell Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar as well, right? So weekly and daily say, Tom, you are allowed to sell Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. I say, thank you very much, Mr. Market. Let me try and find an entry, right? And again, everything I'm showing you guys is just logical, common sense, basic understanding of price action, right? If we drop down to the H4, we have literally had a H4 structure break. So you could have even argued it happened here, right? So here we started to get lower lows, and then prices kind of come back up. We was back into an uptrend, right? Higher highs. And then, you know, once we tested these highs again over here, you can't help but think a bit of a liquidity grab here. Price has shot back down. All right, and now we're getting, this was the last low, we're getting lower lows, right? So all we're looking for now is a new lower high. And is this lower high in here? We shall find out, right? But we're in a downtrend, okay? This is the structure of the market. We're in a downtrend, right? Lower lows. And then all I'm looking for, guys, is once we come back up to this level, right, I'm looking for a bearish candle. And this H4 candle right here was bearish enough for me to start selling. Just look at the size of the wick, right? I know it's a green body, but the wick is like double the size of the body, okay? The body of the candle. So that is a bearish candle, not a bullish candle. And all I'm trying to do is take price back down to these last lows in here, right? And then let some profit run as well, right? So I basically entered here on the close of that candle. I've put my stop above here, and I'm looking to take price down to here. Get my 1:1, a little bit more than 1:1, right? 1:1.1, right? Take some profit, let some profit run. Okay, so that's Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar sells, and then also took pound Swiss franc buy. So let's just understand my trades first of all. Okay, so let's start with the weekly chart, right? Again, top down approach. I'm just showing you how systematic. What I do is so systematic. Just have to get my words in the right order, yeah? So it's the same, right? Top-down approach. What does weekly tell me? Weekly tells me we are at a very important support level, right? We can expect buyers here, okay? If I zoom in a bit, there is no disputing that we are in a downtrend, right? But at this point, we were very overextended. Right, and we was at a support level. We got a bullish candle on the weekly chart, right? So this is telling me I can buy this. It is against trend, but I can buy this market. You know, potentially all the way back up to these lows in here, right? Moving average 20 catches up. So this 1.11 would be an interesting level to aim for, right? But if I show you on the day chart, right, you can clearly see, all right, so again, weekly tells me I can buy pound Swiss franc, and then on the day chart, I'm seeing this, right? Okay, so this candle literally just broke this important resistance level, right? And therefore, only just, but we're getting higher highs, and we're getting higher lows. So we've got that bullish push off of this weekly level. We're also seeing the day chart structurally become an uptrend. And again, just look at the candles, right? Even this candle, bottom wick, big bullish candle, right? There's a high probability it can just make its way back up to this last daily high and this 1.1. Again, guys, very simple, logical, right? Common sense really is how I trade, right? Using price action. Now, don't get me wrong, right? This doesn't mean every trade's going to work out, right? Trump could come out and all hell could break loose and the flight to safeties get some strength, right? Anything can happen. But what I'm showing you is logical trade setups, right? That hopefully they make sense to you. And if they don't, then, try to understand price action more, and they will. So there you go, guys. So again, weekly, daily, tell me I can buy. And then if I look at the H4, right, all I'm looking for is H4 trend. Let me zoom out a little bit. Right, so H4 trend. Let's start back here, actually. So H4 trend, we're in an uptrend quite clearly, right? We're getting higher lows, higher highs, right? Clearly in an uptrend, and we broke this important resistance level here. Now, what was once resistance becomes very good support in here. But I've already entered here because I got this candle was bullish enough for me. Again, I know it's a red body, but look at the wick. That was telling me lots of buyers have come into the market. All right, so I got a little bit of a retrace. I started buying in here. My stop is basically where this blue line is, right? So I've done a little tutorial earlier on, and my target is up here. All right, guys. So yeah, there you go. Those are the two trades that I am in, and those are the reasons why. And again, guys, don't forget, I put all of my trades in the VIP Discord. So firstly, come along and join the free Discord. Loads of cool stuff in there. And the VIP Discord is where I put all of my trades, right? So come get involved. Don't be shy. Right, so enough about me, more about you guys. So let's see who is in the live chat. And let's start taking a few questions. So, Offman, hello, how are you? Max, hi, Tom, love this bias. I'm in CAD Swiss franc still. Okay, we'll update the Discord. It's a funny one coming back from the hell. Yeah, Swiss franc weakness we're seeing generally, and also saw a bit of CAD strength recently. Yeah, because if we look at oil, I was buying oil yesterday and took some profit. Okay, interesting. We're having a bit of a sell-off. But oil, yeah, we've had, I mean, if you just look at the day chart, right, we've had this, again, a bit of a structure break, right? So oil has been bullish, but are we running out of space for oil strength, right? We know this level here is a good support and therefore resistance level, and we've got the moving average 20. So in here, oil, this push up we've had, oil could quite easily start seeing some weakness again. All right, I still think it has a little bit more room to go, but it, excuse me, just choking on Doritos that I was forcing down my neck before I come on the live stream. In fact, let me have a drink before I do choke to death on live stream. Right, so this oil strength has led, to some CAD strength, some Canadian dollar strength. Remember, if oil is strong, Canadian dollar is strong. That's a typical confluence that you should be aware of. So it'd be interesting to see what oil does in here. So yeah, I agree with your trade, Max. Christina, Vega, hello, how are you? Vega, Vega used to be a Street Fighter 2 character. There you go. I may have mentioned that to you before, Christina. Max, pound Canadian dollar was a setup yesterday, but didn't get my entry. Might have something if you have a push back up. Yeah, let's take a quick look at pound Canadian dollar. Let's take a look at the day chart. It's still a buy trade for me. I think tomorrow, pound Canadian dollar could become a nice buy trade if the daily candle stayed like this, right? Because, pound Canadian dollar, right? It was coming down. We've now broken to the upside. We're getting higher lows. We're getting higher highs. Pound Canadian dollar is definitely in an uptrend. You can see price bouncing off of this support level, and it's a horizontal support level as well. So if I see a bullish candle like this will do, that would be bullish enough. If I see a bullish candle, I would look to buy pound Canadian dollar, right? If not back up to here, then potentially all the way back up to here. Now, this blue line is in because pound Canadian dollar was actually a swing trade for me. Yeah, so if we go to the weekly chart now, you know, look at it, right? We was in a kind of a range and then bang, we broke, we've retraced. This is a lovely area, right? I love it. I love it more than I love Gal Gadot, right? I love it when you get horizontal support and resistance and you get the moving average 20 as well. That double whammy support is always such a nice level to enter on. It really is. And then look how pound Canadian dollar reacted at that level, right? And I still think this has room to the upside. All right. And according to the day chart, that would totally agree with me, right? Yeah, we're in an uptrend. Yeah, we get a nice bullish candle here. I will definitely be looking for buys tomorrow if it stays like that. So yeah, pound Canadian dollar is interesting right now. Okay, what else have we got? Marky Mark, and the Funky Bunch. That's how old I am. So you know Mark Wahlberg, right? You know, you probably all know him as a Hollywood actor. He used to be in Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch with his brother, Donnie, I believe. I shouldn't be admitting this on live TV. This is not TV, but you know what I mean, on live internet. Right, Marky Mark, New Zealand yen. All right, let's take a look. Right, yeah, yen pairs are interesting, but again, guys, right, let's do a top-down approach. Right now, I'm going to do a top-down approach here, and then the next currency pair that we look at, we're going to do a top-down approach together as one big happy family, right? It'll be good practice. Now, I have to zoom out because things have been quite extreme in the markets, right? We know that. So it's a lot of assets, lots of Forex, lots of commodities, lots of indices are hitting levels where we have to go back a long way. And it was true with a lot of yen pairs, right? So this yen pair came all the way down to here, right? And look, if I zoom in, guys, right? Because when you come here, right, and you start seeing New Zealand yen down here, you're like, right, where is a reference point for me? You know this is a reference point because that's the last low, right? But when it breaks that, you're like, right, I have to go back in time, okay? And then we go back in time and we look left, right? And sure enough, we get support, 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 support. So we know this level has been historically good support. And ever since we've bounced, you know, and ever since we've hit that level, we've bounced off it, right? But again, let's just deal in common sense and deal in the facts of the chart, right? This is not me imagining things. This is not me thinking about it fundamentally. Let's just deal in the facts of the chart, right? Now, this is in a downtrend. Let's come here, right? That's in a downtrend. Okay, fact. So really, I want to sell it. Okay, but now let's look at these candles. Very bullish. Buyers are slowing down, right? That's quite an indecisive candle. I know it has a green body, but that's quite an indecisive candle, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what this next candle looks like, right? So looking at this, right, I'm seeing these buyers slowing down. It's getting to a nice resistance level. This could potentially be a nice sell trade, right? So that's what I'm seeing on the weekly. But let's drop down to the daily now. And it's interesting price, right? Because here, highs and lows are very clear, right? down to here, it's very clear, right? Lower highs, right? Lower lows. It's all very clear. But now it's become a little bit, you know, is there a level in here? Was that a low and now we're in an uptrend, right? You know, so some of you may be seeing that and you're suggesting it's in an uptrend, right? You could argue that. You could also argue that none of that price is important and we're still in a downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows, and it's just retraced, right? So there's a little ambiguity here, but let me show you how to completely get rid of the ambiguity, right? Now, basically this, guys, right? You can see prices come up to this resistance level and we've just kind of been ranging. We really have. You'll probably see this more clearly on the H4, but price has just been doing this, right? And it's no coincidence it's been doing that, right? There's lots of uncertainty in the markets, right? So people are thinking what to do with flight to safeties, and this is a yen pair, right? So there's lots of uncertainty around indices. Will they go lower, therefore yen is strong? Will they bounce off those lows and therefore yen is weak, right? And technically, right, we've had lots of buying pressure, but we've reached an important resistance level where there's sellers. So technically, we're seeing contraction, right? There's not, we just got, as soon as we get to this, we've got sellers here, we've got all these buyers, which you can see, and we just basically, they canceling each other out. Buyers, sellers, buyers, sellers, buyers, sellers, right? Now, we need a winner, and I will only touch New Zealand yen if two things happen, right? If we get a break, right, through that level, right, and we get a nice big bullish green candle, and we break these highs, it's an uptrend. I would look to buy it back up to this 87 level in here, right? Again, very logical, simple stuff, right? If we get a big bearish candle, right, that breaks these lows in here, then I think we have room to the downside, even potentially all the way back down to these lows. So, yeah, wait for the market to tell you, right? Don't form an opinion of New Zealand yen, right? There is no opinion to be had there. It's ranging, it's contracting, right? So don't think, oh, I think New Zealand yen will do this or no, nonsense, right? You're not a fortune teller, right? You don't have a crystal ball, and if you do, please give me the lottery numbers, right? So don't form opinions. Only come to life when the market makes it clear. And like I said, if we get this candle form, it's clear we can buy. If we get this candle form, it's clear we can sell, right? And just keep it that logical, that simple, guys, and be patient, right? This could do this, right, for another week, right? It could do that for another week, right? And you're like, oh, fundamentally, I really want to sell New Zealand yen, right? Who cares, right? You wait for price to tell you when you can trade, right? Break to the upside, break to the downside, trade it, right? So yeah, there you go, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Right, what else have we got here? Scott, hello, Scott. 704 woman. I am cautiously bullish on NAS as an intraday trade. Okay, we'll take a look at that shortly. Christine, yes, it was a Street Fighter 2 character. And probably, yes, I have mentioned that to you before. From Portugal, I believe. Max, interesting point of view on pound CAD. Good. Luigi, how are you? Yes. 704, you're definitely dating yourself with the Marky Mark comment. Gen X in the house. Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm only 28. Honest. Cot is very long yen. Okay, so Cot is saying yen strength. Okay. Phantom, I don't pay a lot of attention to what the cop tells me, right? That the chart will tell me when it's ready, right? And if it is yen strength, I will trade it, right? James Farley, pound, US dollar. Okay, so we'll take a look at that as well. Colin, let's go. Coach, what shirt do you have on? Colin, I have admitted this earlier, but this is actually a Real Madrid top because I'm playing six-a-side football later, and I had to wear white, and it's the only white football top I had. So please don't tell my friends that are Liverpool fans. They will literally shoot me. Right, before we go to the next question, guys, if I could please ask everyone to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button if you haven't already. Also, guys, please don't forget to join our trading community where the flowers grow. You can talk to like-minded traders. You can share knowledge, ideas, have a chit-chat about your weekend. Please come join our free Discord channel. Also, guys, if you want access to all of our premium trading education, you can actually get 25% off our Simply Forex complete trading course right now. You can also take advantage of the mentorship program where I coach you one-on-one, and you can come join the VIP trading community as well, guys. If you're interested in all of those things, then please go check out our website, www.simply-forex.com. Also, guys, today's live stream is brought to you by Pepperstone. If you look above my head and if you sign up with Pepperstone today, swap from your current broker, or maybe you're looking for a broker, then they will give you, if you sign up with them, they will give you an essential TradingView subscription for free, and we will give you direct access, free access to the VIP Trading Academy. It is a no-brainer. So just sign up using our link and you can take advantage of that offer. All right. All the information you want to know is below the vid, guys. All right. Right. Where do we go here? There was a question. We've done New Zealand yen. So 704 woman seems very strange saying that name. Is cautiously bullish on NAS. Right. So the problem we have here is when the market gaps. Right now, we know so again, top-down approach, right? We know on the weekly chart, right, we have found an area of support through here, right? Price has reacted there before. Now, because we had such a massive sell-off and we were so overextended, then we got the 90-day pause and we saw this candle. Is it time for indices to push up, right? Or has it found the level of resistance here? We had a bearish candle and it's time to start selling the indices. Now, the problem with the indices is, for me, there's an argument for both, right? And also, I'm not a fundamental trader, but obviously I'm aware of fundamentals. And fundamentally, there is crazy amounts of uncertainty in the markets, right? What will America and China do with these tariffs? Where will they go? Right? It's like it's financial warfare, right? America are trying to hurt China, are trying to hit China where it hurts. And China didn't back down and retaliated. How far will it go? That's going to determine where the indices go, right? And everyone's talking about a global recession because of these tariffs. Maybe, right? Nobody really knows, right? But look out for GDP figures. So weekly is a little uncertain for me there, but just technically it's uncertain. Okay, we're in a downtrend. We've got this big bullish candle. We did have a bearish candle last week, but it's not bearish enough. So this is a bit of no man's land for me, right? If we look at the day chart, right, again, it's tricky, right? We were in a downtrend. Okay, now we can see we've kind of found a bit of a low in here, and there was some previous clues here, right? Are we starting to see higher lows? Maybe, but that will only be confirmed once we get a break of this level. If I see a break of that level on the day chart, I'm interested in buying the NASDAQ, right? And probably indices in general, right? They're all highly correlated if that happens, right? But while we're between here and here, I'm just not really interested. You might see a lot of just ranging crappy price action. And the last point I want to make here, so obviously you explain that you're bullish, right? And I get it, right? We're at this kind of level through here, and we've had a bullish candle. But the problem is this gap up. Now, the market always wants to fill the gap, always, right? And it usually does it pretty quickly, but that will be filled. Okay, so if you started buying in here to take it up to this level, right? I get that trade, but I am so wary of that gap not being filled. Now, if we go to the H4, yeah, so again, there was a gap here, right? It wants to be filled. It's now filled. There was a gap here. It got filled, right? A very small gap here, but got filled. Here is a bloody mahoosive big gap. And bloody mahoosive is a technical term in all of the economic books. Check it out. So I'm very conscious of this. Price will want to come down and fill this, right? Moving average 20 is coming round. Now, if it does do that, and price comes down to here and we get a nice bullish candle, then I think you have got a really nice buy trade on your hands. Back up to here, back up to this 19,000 level. But I am not willing to buy it until this gap's filled. All right, so there you go with the NASDAQ. Right, what else are we looking at today? We've done the NAS, we've done pound Canadian dollar, pound US dollar. Colin, I know. Colin is now ashamed of me that I'm wearing a Real Madrid top. This is not the Tom I know. Colin, you're making me feel quite bad about wearing a Madrid top. And I probably shouldn't have done it on the live stream, right? But I'm literally going to six-a-side football a little bit after this live stream, right? And I'm going to be bright red and breathing out of my bum pretty quickly, right? I haven't played football for a while. But that's the reason. Yeah, I'm not proud of it. Right. Okay, 704 woman agrees. My target is 1900. Yeah, makes sense. Pound US dollar, James Flaherty. Right, that sounds Irish, James. Am I correct? Pound US dollar. Let's take a look. Now, the US dollar pairs, right, are interesting because we know the market has just given us US dollar weakness, right? I mean, look at it. Look at pound US dollar, right? It's just kapow. That is all US dollar weakness. And that entire move, just to measure it, I just want to measure it, right, is 1,343 pips. Now, what you wanted to do there was enter here with a 5 pip stop loss and get a 20,000 to 1 trade. I'm only joking. But yeah, that's a big move, right? But I hate using that word. The charts are showing me that this could be the turning point for US dollar, or at least some US dollar strength comes into the market, right? And that's actually what I put in the Discord channel, right? I'm looking at US dollar strength today in general, right? Now, if you look at pound US dollar, we're at a weekly level, right? We can expect some sellers there. Equals US dollar strength, right? Let's have a look at Aussie dollar, US dollar, right? Weekly, we are at a weekly, right? You can see it was support. It's now resistant. We are at a weekly level. Can we expect some selling pressure? I would say yes, it's a big weekly level, right? And we're in a weekly downtrend. Don't forget that, right? Euro US dollar, right? We have to go, like I said before, we have to go so far left to get some reference points. But this 1.15 thousand is a big number, right? Big psychological level, and it was previous support and resistance, right? Okay. Now, can we expect US dollar strength? We can expect sellers and therefore US dollar strength. Let's look at US dollar yen, right? Look at that weekly level, right? That is suggesting buyers and therefore US dollar strength. And let's look at one more, and that's gold, right? Gold hit a really big figure. There's 3,500. And look at the reaction we're getting. So if the weekly candle stays like that, can we finally expect a bit of a retrace with gold and therefore some US dollar strength, right? So it's not what I think, it's what I'm seeing on the charts, right? With all of this US dollar strength, right? So pound US dollar, if we go back to James's question, is can we trade it? And I would be looking to trade against trend, right? Potentially down to this last high. So I would aim maybe for this 1.32 level, right? Psychological level. Okay. Let's go to the day chart, right? And as we know, we got a bearish candle yesterday, but it wasn't super bearish if we compare it to the previous candle, but still bearish, right? You know, and like I said, I would aim for this last high because I'm not aiming for down here. It could come down there, but it's because we're against trend. This would be against a weekly trend and it would be against the daily trend, right? So I would only aim for the next potential area of support, right? And that would be that level there. Okay, I would take profit here. Now, what I'm looking for is a H4 breakdown, and we've had that, right? Now, as you can see, H4 structure, you know, we're just going to do that. H4 structure was like this. Stop making higher highs, and now it's broken down. So I'm interested in selling pound US dollar. And like I say, US dollar strength in general, right? I was actually, out of all the US dollar pairs, I was interested in Aussie dollar, US dollar, Aussie dollar, US dollar sells, right? So interesting, right? I mean, we've got 20 minutes or so before this H4 candle finishes forming. Now, could we start selling off the back of that candle? I would suggest yes, right? I would, because we're below the moving average 20, right? We've got a nice bearish candle. If it stays like this, guys, right? You know, I would also like to see no bottom wick, right? So if we get a very bearish candle, could we start selling pound US dollar? Yes, but let me show you Aussie dollar, US dollar. Just looking at the H4, right? We was in an uptrend like pound US dollar, but now we're in a downtrend, right? We're getting lower lows and price has retraced all the way to here. So this is an easier trade, right? Pound US dollar, I was like, has it retraced enough? Is there enough room to move into, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But Aussie dollar, US dollar, right? If we get a nice bearish H4 candle in here, you could just stop above here and you've got loads of room to move into back down to these last lows, right? And that is far more attractive to me than if we go back to pound US dollar, right? This is that last low. You know, I'm asking myself, does it want to come up here first and then it comes back down? You know, is this enough? Is it just going to start coming down? You know, you can't really start selling here and hide above here. I mean, you can, but then you have a crazy big target, right? So this is trickier, pound US dollar, whereas Aussie dollar US dollar was easier, right? And now a good thing to look at, right, would be pound Aussie dollar, right? If you're thinking that. And as you can see, let's go to the day chart. Right, we had quite a bullish candle on pound Aussie dollar, which suggested pound strength, Aussie dollar weakness. So that plays into my Aussie dollar US dollar sell trade, right? More preferable than pound US dollar, right? Because this chart has a bullish candle and we're at a real level of support here. And if we go down to the H4, we've already had a big bounce off. Look at all these lows in here, right? It hasn't been breaking it. And we've had a bit of a bullish H4 candle here already, right? Is that going to be the catalyst for pound Aussie dollar to come up? Right? So yeah, I prefer Aussie dollar, US dollar sells for that reason, guys. And looking at pound Aussie dollar, perhaps we're going to see more pound strength than Aussie dollar strength here at these lows. If it breaks it, then obviously that all changes. But if this holds, right? Guys, if you're enjoying my analysis, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and please smash the like button. Please come join our trading community. It's beautiful in there. Right, so come join our free Discord channel. Also, guys, if you want to improve as a trader, then please check out our website, www.simply-forex.com. And also, guys, don't forget today's live stream is brought to you by Pepperstone. And if you swap broker or open an account with Pepperstone, they will give you a free Essential TradingView subscription, and we will give you access to the VIP Trading Academy. If you want to know more about the Trading Academy, please go check it out on the website. Right, we've got a couple of minutes left. Let's just take a look at a couple of these trades. Okay, so all right, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar is not doing what we want it to do. Right, I've still got a little bit of time. Remember, my stop is above these highs. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. And pound Swiss franc. Okay, it's all right. I may fire another shot at this trade with pound Swiss franc if it comes down to this level. Right, let me just show you this level. Right, we know this is a really nice level. So, okay, no problem. If I come down here, I may enter again with pound Swiss franc with a view to taking it up to there. Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar, though, we got 20 minutes. I would like to see this H4 candle just close below that high. Right, but let's see. Okay, we're in that trade as well. All right, guys. So if there's no more questions, let me just take a look at the live chat. Nope, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Please don't forget to join me same time again tomorrow for more of the live stream, more analysis, more trades, more tips, more advice. Come join us. See you later, guys.